Hello there. Welcome back again. Thank you for taking time to watch. A lot of these videos that I make are typically inspired by either some kind of a story or something that I read on YouTube or something that I see in the news. Today, I read on the internet about a man who had a really large YouTube following. He was a singer of some sort. I wasn't familiar with him. But through social media, he was reaching out to his fans, female fans, very young. The youngest girl involved was 14. So this man was reaching out to these girls and these young women. He was trying to get them as young as possible. And he was saying to them, if you're really my fan, prove it. So he was pretty much asking these women and girls to prove their love for him to him. And he would ask them to videotape themselves doing things like dancing in a really seductive manner. And some of them he talked them into exposing themselves. So anyway, the guy got sentenced to 10 years on a child pornography charge. But that just kind of got me to thinking. I'm going to go out and say this, and I understand that young children were involved with this. But when it comes to interactions between men and women and like love interactions, like I'm not talking about family, I mean like romantic kind of interactions, men are supposed to pursue and prove themselves to women. It doesn't work the other way around. I don't really believe anyone that says that it does work in the opposite direction. Now, I'm sure some people would argue with me. That's fine. I don't live in your house. Don't know everything about your relationship. But the way it's set up, the way men and women really are set up, men are supposed to pursue and prove themselves to women. First of all, in Proverbs 18:22, it says, he who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. In other translations, it simply says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Or at least, that's how people commonly say it, but I just read to you directly from an NIV Bible. Maybe I'm wrong, but I cannot think of anywhere where it says the same thing in reverse. Like, she who finds, I don't know, I just don't think it is in the reverse. I mean, a good husband is a blessing. And in these biblical times, they were absolutely necessary economically. But it says right there in the scripture, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. There is also, I believe it's Proverbs 31 that says that a wife is valued higher than rubies or something like that. I'm sorry, that's a paraphrase. I may not even have gotten the verse right. But we've gotten all backward, and I think it's causing a lot of problems. Let's see, in 2 Timothy. Now, this is 2 Timothy 3. And really, this is talking about the last days. It's a couple of paragraphs. I won't read all of it, but I will read 6 through 9. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and read it all. Why not? So this is 2 Timothy 3 through 9. Difficult times for Christian service, godlessness in the last days. And it says, but mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of God, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with them. Now this is the second paragraph, starting with verse 6. They are the kind who worm their way into the homes and gain control over weak-willed women, who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires, always learning but never able to acknowledge the truth. Just as Jans, I'm maybe totally messing up that name, and Jambres. Sorry, I don't do real well with those biblical names because, you just read most of them. You don't hear them. I could not begin to tell you how to pronounce these. Oppose Moses. So also these men oppose the truth. Men of depraved minds who, as far as the faith is concerned, are rejected. But they will not get very far. As in the case of those men, their folly will be clear to everyone. So basically, I read all that to hone in on, just a couple of verses. People taking advantage of weak-willed women is kind of a sign of the times and sign of last days. And it's happening a lot. And it's because roles have been reversed a lot. And I just feel like I said in that last video, women are just really being set up for failure in more ways than one. I don't have time to get into all of it. And besides that, I'm not a sociologist or a psychiatrist, so it's not even my place to get into all of it. I'm mainly just an observer. But anyway, a lot of women are being told, go out and pursue that man. And a lot of men are letting him. They're taking the more feminine, submissive role. And so these women are just getting taken advantage of terribly. Now, again, this man who had the large YouTube following was like reaching out to people. I mean, that was child abuse. So, that's totally something different. However, I don't know that it will work out that differently if these were 40-year-olds, honestly. Just because of the nature. I mean, if a woman likes a guy, she wants to try and, please him. And if she doesn't have those boundaries, and a lot of these boundaries that people think are so bad and, are so repressive, really they did a lot to protect women. And now those boundaries are removed, and women are just getting taken advantage of left and right and left and right. Women tend to be a lot more interested in commitment. It's a lot more important to a lot of women than it is men. So if a man, first of all, he needs to choose correctly, and be concerned with things other than what a person looks like. I mean, looks are important, but gosh, it's not the end all be all. So a man needs to kind of observe and just kind of choose a person based on some factors other than just looks. First of all, choose properly. And then if he pursues her, and by that pretty much I mean invest in her, time, some emotional capital, and yes, money is a part of it. And I'm not talking straight gold digging here. I'm just saying, you can kind of tell where a person's heart is by what they're spending their money on, quite frankly. Eventually, if he is pursuing this woman, and if he kind of passes all the different roadblocks, eventually there will be a commitment there, because women typically want that commitment. When it goes the other way, when women kind of pursue men, I mean, there are some men that value marriage and commitment and things like that for whatever reason, because of their religious beliefs, or they feel like being married brings them some social capital, or they're just very traditional, whatever. But for the most part, men just want, some behind, really. So if a woman and women just pursue men, and this woman is wanting to please this man, she'll probably sleep with him. The man gets what he wants. And then things don't really develop that much beyond that. Why should they? He has no reason to really push very further. And sometimes it's not totally about sex. Sometimes it's, oh, I'm lonely. And I'm talking this the man here. Oh, I'm lonely. I want company. I want someone to talk to. Things like that. The woman still is getting used, and there's probably sex involved anyway. But that more than likely, if she runs after him and he just kind of keeps her around, and this may not even be totally a conscious thing on his part, he may genuinely like the lady. But he still is just kind of draining her emotionally. And I know that happens both ways. I'm not saying that women are necessarily a picnic. I'm kind of thinking that a lot of them are not, quite frankly. But this is girl talk right here. So, when women pursue men, who probably are not necessarily interested in some sort of commitment at that time, or not a commitment from this particular woman, things just tend to kind of go awry, and that woman more than likely will probably suffer for it. Now, I personally don't think that there's anything wrong with approaching a person and just kind of letting your interest be known. But if the man does not kind of take the ball and run with it, he's not for you. And the only way a woman can really ever know a man's real intentions, because this is what it comes down to, is he needs to make his intentions known clearly and over some time. So don't be desperate, ladies, because you're better off single than you are in a relationship with a man you had to, chase down like you're a cop or something, and henpeck him into a relationship. It's probably never going to be totally satisfying, and even if he is, I don't know, kind of satisfied with it, and he allows himself to be treated as a pet of some sort, at some point, see, that's not what really turns women on. Just a man who just kind of wants to be a house pet. At some point, you'll probably get tired of it anyway, and you're going to seek higher ground, whatever that is, either a different man or a woman or singleness or something. So, anyway, let the men do what men are supposed to do. Men are supposed to be pursuing wives, not just girlfriends and fiancés for 10 years and baby mamas. They need to put some respect on it, and let men do what men are supposed to do. And if they're not doing it, be satisfied being single until you find one that does. And if you never do, you're probably still better off anyway. So, anyway, that's my thought on it. Everybody have a great day. Where I am in Missouri, it's actually a really beautiful day. So, have a great day and a great weekend. Thank you.